Now that we know something about sub-procedures, we can write a couple of handy procedures to let us use the keyboard input. So we could use the keys on the keyboard to kind of drive this mouse around. So to get keyboard input, there's a reporter that we use called readchar. It's this guy right here. And what readchar does is it pauses the execution and waits for a character to be typed on the keyboard. So let's try that out. So readchar is a reporter. So let's see what happens when we say readchar. Oh, and we saw it. Let's just double check, see about inputs. Do we need any inputs? No, there's no input. See, random needs an input. Readchar, no, readchar doesn't need any inputs. So let's readchar, hit return. Oh, you have to spell it right. R-E-A-D char. Okay, this is interesting. We got this little dot. So that dot means that, what does that mean? It means something's happening over here. I'm going to press a key because I just said that readchar pauses until you press a key. So let's press a key. H. Oh, how about that? I pressed. The key I pressed was an H. The little dot went away, and I said I don't know what to do with H. So that dot was basically saying I'm waiting. I'm waiting for you. So you have to in this case press a key. So if I do say readchar again, try again. So I say readchar again, and this time I'll press a Y. And it says I don't know what to do with Y. So it captures that letter that I typed on the keyboard. It waits for me to type something, and then it outputs what I typed. So that's pretty cool. And so we can do things with this, right? We could show it. So we could say show readchar. And if I type a T, it shows the T. Okay, that's something, but how does that get us to driving a turtle? Well, let's see. So, there's, you know what, before we even get to driving the turtle, there's one more thing I want to show you, and that is the ASCII. Okay, because we've got a problem here, so I'm just going to put this up for a second. So it says ASCII, it needs an input char, and we'll talk a little bit about more in a second. But the problem that we have is if I say show readchar and I press an arrow key, it doesn't know what to show because there's no printable character that maps to the arrow key. Okay, so what this ASCII thing is, it says ASCII stands for American Standard Code for Information Exchange, ASCII. It reports the ASCII number, which represents the character. So the way the ASCII code works is the ASCII code maps a number to every character. So if I say, so basically, if I say like this, if I say show ASCII A, the number associated with the letter A is 97. If I say show ASCII 4, that maps to a 52. Okay? So every character that you can type, and it turns out every key that you can type has an ASCII letter associated with it. So since ASCII needs a character for an input, and readchar outputs a character, we could say show ASCII read char. Okay, so let me get rid of this for a second. So read char is going to output a character, and then ASCII is going to turn that character into a number, and show is going to show it. So if I do, like we saw before, if I type in the letter A, read char reads the A and passes it over to ASCII, and ASCII says, oh, A maps to a 97. So I'll pass a 97 to show, and show types it out. Okay. So what about, so now what good is this? Well, the good thing about it is I can hit return, and I can press an arrow key, and I'll press the right arrow key, and that's a 29. Now the only problem, the thing you have to watch out for is that it's a 29 on a Mac with the right arrow key, but it's not a 29 on a Windows machine. It'll be a different number, so you got to test and see what that number is. But we can still use this idea to write ourselves a little some little procedures that we can use to drive the turtle around. So let's go to the procedure tab here, and I think the first thing I want to do is write a to-handle key procedure that's going to take a key as an input. But this key, I'm thinking about an ASCII number really that is associated with a key. So I could say if key equals 28, if key equals, let me write it this way with the equal question mark. If key equals 28, then I want to set my heading to, oh yeah, let me get the rest of these. Set my heading to 270. Let me just show you. So what you do to figure all these out is, so I know that I figured out that going to the right, because I press the right arrow key, I got a 29. If I press the left arrow key, I get a 28. So that's why key 28 goes to 270. And you can try out the rest of these. So if I go up, sometimes you have to click in the main window to make this work. So if I go up, it says 30. So if equal key 30, then I want to set the heading to 0 because that's up, right? And 29 we saw was the other way. I think I can just copy both of these. So yeah, we saw 29 was going to the right, so that's 90, and then if I want to go down, that's 31. So 31 is going to be 180. So far, all this does is I can type in handle key 28, and that'll make him turn to 270, or handle key 31, and that makes him go 180, right? If I type in if I type in like some number that's not in this procedure, let me make this a little bigger. So if I type in some number that's, oh wait, I got 28 twice. Why is that? Oh, this was supposed to be 29. If I type in a number that's not in here, like if I say handle key 999, nothing happens because it says, because this is not true, this does not evaluate to true, equal key, none of these evaluate to true, so none of these instruction lists get run. Okay, so an instruction list will only get run if I press one of the right, or if I enter one of the right keys in here. So 31, 31 I did already, 29, like that. Okay, so that's how handle key works. But now what I want is I want something that will use ASCII rechar. So if I do something like this, if I can say if I can say like handle key ASCII rechar, okay, now we're starting to get something going here, because now if I press the up arrow, what happens? It goes up because rechar reads that up arrow key, ASCII translates it into a number 30, and then handle key says, oh, 30, yeah, I know what to do with that. When the key is equal to 30, I'm going to run this instruction list and set that to 0. So now how can we use this to be driving this guy all the time? Well, what we could do is we could say to start key listener, let's just say we're setting up a key listener to listen to the keyboard. We can say forever, do this part, forever handle key, I'm going to copy this, forever handle key ASCII rechar end. Okay, and now if I say start key listener, now what happens? Well, now if I'm in here and I say, now I'm using my arrows. If I click my right arrow, my left arrow, okay, so now it's going. So we're almost there. The only thing we need really now is to just animate this guy, right? If we animate him, and now I have this arrow key running, then we can move around while he's doing that, okay? So what you might want to do is to start the whole thing in motion. To start, you could just say start the key listener and click on. If you have a bunch of turtles, you might want to say everyone click on or whatever. So here we can just make a button. And the label can be whatever you want the label to be, but this instruction has to be start. That's our start procedure. And if we click on that, now we can drive around. And that's how you get the arrow keys to work.